Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 6:07 Thursday, June 23rd. 70 degrees, got about 74 today and raining. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. Join the conversation. And the conversation now turns to Kathleen Brady. Hold on. You have a long title, so I want to get it right. Hold on. Don't tell me. Kathleen Brady. She is the Executive Director of Career Services, Corporate Engagement, and Continuing Education at Georgian University. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's good. I just got an email from a listener and a friend, Ralph Wolf from Jersey Coast Appliance, who sent me the "Which of the houses from Game of Thrones do you belong to?" quiz. So it's good to know that somebody's listening. So good morning. So why don't you tell us a little bit, Kathleen, about what you do at Georgia University right here in the heart of Ocean County?
Great. I'm so happy to be here to be able to talk about what I think is the best kept secret in Ocean County, which is Georgian Court. I do run the Career Services Office, Corporate Engagement, and Continuing Education. I was originally hired to do the career services work, which is helping students identify their passions, their skills, their talents, abilities, and helping them find internships, jobs, service learning, and really kind of make that transition from being a student in academics into being a professional. To do that, we sort of joined on and kind of morphed the office doing corporate engagement to go out and build those relationships with employers as well. And, of course, continuing education because it's all about lifelong learning. So it doesn't stop when you get your 4-year degrry. And
that's awesome. And so they keep layering on new salaries
more
for you,
more.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you keep getting higher and higher. I'm sure because, anyway. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a student that just stumped you that you're like, listen, you're pretty much there's no way we're going to be able to find something for you?
No, there is a place for everyone, but I will tell you there are times when someone sits across the desk from me and I think, oh, this one's going to be a challenge.
Yes.
So absolutely.
That's what you said when you first walked in this morning here.
Exactly.
So how long have you been at Georgia Court?
I've been in Georgia Court for about 2 years now.
Okay.
But started my career in higher ed. I was at Columbia and Fordham Law School for many years.
Columbia, like Columbia University?
Columbia University.
Not to be confused with the University of Columbia at Bogota.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And
I
was there for about 2 years, and then I went to Fordham. I was at Fordham for about 13 years, running at their law school, running their career services office.
Okay. All right.
So
wait a second. Okay. Hold on now. So Columbia, right, which Ivy League school,
right,
pretty good school,
yes.
From what I understand.
Yes.
Obviously, they
got a decent reputation.
They wouldn't even let me tour when I was. They were like, no, there's no reason for you to waste your time, Mr. Grunin. So that's Columbia, Fordham, the Rams, good school, right? Very good school, and you did the law school, and now at Georgia Court. So talk to me. How do you go from New York City? Right now, you end up in Lakewood, New Jersey. Yeah.
Okay, which is a great question.
Thank you.
Yes, I loved those experiences. After doing it for a while, I went over to, as we jokingly say, the dark side and worked in law firms, doing recruiting and professional development. Ultimately, opened my own business doing career management and life consulting with folks. As my friends' kids got older, they would say, you work with professionals all the time. Help my kid. They don't know how to find a job. And it occurred to me that it wasn't happening at the school level. And so I saw this opportunity at Georgian Court right in my backyard. And I thought, this is the place where I can go and teach people the skills that they need so that they don't have to pay for it on the other end.
Gotcha. So it was one part helping the world, and one part, oh my God, I'm working in law offices, and what am I doing with my life?
That is very true.
Yes.
They're a particular beast.
No, I understand. Being the product of two of them, I understand completely. Okay. So which would explain why I dropped out of college, by the way. Okay, so how long? So when you first got into the world of academics, right, or really, it's kind of a hybrid of academics for you because you've always been on the career services end, or kind of the practical end of academics, as I would say. How did that come to pass? Like, do you remember when the epiphany was for you? When that moment of clarity was that said, "This is what I want to do with my life. I want to help people? I mean, was that something as a little girl when you were playing with your first Barbie doll that you were like, oh my God, oh Barbie, let me see if I can't go find you a job? Yeah.
No, I started out as a social worker, and I realized I didn't like social work because it was, I always thought it was like putting Band-Aids on broken legs. Important work, just I couldn't do it. There was just no end in sight.
Right.
And so I did what I teach my students to do now. I did networking. When I left social work school, dropped out before I finished that, I had started the Take Kathy Brady to Lunch Club. And I went out and had lunch with friends and friends of friends to figure out what to do next. And the opportunity presented itself at Columbia, where I could use the counseling skills that I had learned in social work school, but with a different type of population, one that was a little bit more motivated and had more resources to get things done. And so it was a problem that was solvable.
Okay. So where have you found that you've had kind of the greatest success at Georgian Court in placing kids? I mean, where are you finding that there are the kind of the niches or the up and coming industries where you feel like, I'm not saying that certainly there's no cookie cutter approach,
right.
but where have you kind of found the most fertile ground?
Well, I think Georgian Court does particularly well in the School of Education. So we've got a lot of our students get jobs right away as teachers. Certainly our nursing program, I almost never see the nursing students because they have their internships that they go right into finding employment.
Right.
So those are quite good. But I always like to correct people. We don't place anybody. That's not. It really is about helping each person find what are their unique gifts and talents, and then help them design a personalized strategy. Which is why it takes so long, because everybody walks in saying, "Okay, I need a job, Kathleen." It's like, well, who are you? What are you good at? What are you interested in? What do you care about? Where do you want to be? And so really try to
what do you like
motivate
to do?
them.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting point. So I know I don't want to gloss over the nursing part, because I know that Georgian Court has a fantastic relationship with the Meridian Health System. Absolutely. I know you guys place a ton of nurses and do a nice job, especially I think with the BSN program, right? So which is the movement across nursing now, is the BSN in 10 even for existing nurses, which is a great program we're big supporters of. So that's great. But I think it's an important point. I always tell, having spent myself personally, 20 years in leadership roles in retail and then health and fitness, health and wellness, whatever you want to call it. Right. And I always had, there were so many times when I would have someone working for me that I would want to get promoted. Like I'd want them to do more. And then we'd have a discussion, and it was clear that they didn't want to do more at this particular station, the job. And then I would start helping them find other jobs, not because I wanted them to leave, but because you want to help people, right? And, the first thing I always used to say to them is, stop looking at Monster, stop looking at job boards, right? Stop looking and trying to figure out what you fit into, and instead figure out what you want to do. Right? Figure out what kind of companies you're looking for. What is your optimal pick? Give me the 5 places you would love to work. Right. And then apply there. Right. Because employers are looking for great people all the time, right? I mean, talk about that for a second.
There are a ton of jobs out there. So this notion that there are no jobs is just wrong. If you do look on those job boards, there are thousands of jobs. Right. There are thousands of people looking, but there's this disconnect between, and I think partly because job seekers try to do what makes sense instead of what they want. So I have students come in all the time, go, well, I'll be an accounting major because there's always jobs as an accountant, or there's always jobs as a teacher. Well, yeah, maybe you might always have a job, but if you hate doing that, that's a hell of a way to spend your life. Right. So it really is about, people always skip that first self-assessment step about what do you want, I ask people 4 questions. What do you want? Why do you want it? What do you have to do to get it? And are you willing to do those things? And it's just, they sound like simple questions, but when you really try and get people to dig deep and answer those questions, it's tough.
Wow, you should totally write a book about that. Oh wait,
funny you should mention that.
Well, let's talk about that, and let's also talk about what Georgian Court really does for kids in getting them prepared. Let's talk about that when we get back from the break, shall we?
Sounds great.
All right, cool. We are here with Kathleen Brady, Georgian Court University. I'm not going through her whole title because it's way too big. Back after this.
Stay tuned for Preferred Company with Joel Markell and Marianne Levy at 8. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin continues next. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We are here with Kathleen Brady, Executive Director of Career Services, Corporate Engagement, and Continuing Education. So, book. You wrote a book.
I wrote a book called Get a Job, 10 Steps to Career Success. Catchy title. So,
that is.
Great graduation gift.
It is. That's it makes a great stocking stuffer.
Exactly.
Yes. So 10 steps. Now, I've always wondered about these because, like, I start doing the math and I'm like, 10 steps. All right. So what do you do with the other 150 pages? Because I feel like, you just write about 10 steps.
It's the sub-steps that really make the difference. But if you put things into 3 buckets, it's self-assessment, market assessment, implementation.
Gotcha.
Everybody starts with implementation. Even students, when they come into my office, it's how do I write a resume?
Right.
You can't write a resume until you know what you're looking for, what's going on in the market, what do they care about, or what you have to offer. So it's really trying to walk them through the process.
Have you ever seen, I always have to make a pop culture movie reference typically. Do you remember, do you ever see Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield?
I love that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking when you said 10 steps, when you said 10 steps, but there's all the sub-steps, I was thinking about when he had to take the big exam at the end. Mm-hmm. And the English professor who hates him is like, I just have one question for you, Mr. Mellon. And he's like, yes, one question. In 39 steps. Yeah. So anyway, or 39 parts, whatever. Anyway, all right. So you mentioned writing, writing a resume, doing an interview, things like that. So these are all skills that employers look for, certainly. And I think you hear often that they don't understand how kids come out of college looking for jobs and have no idea how to write an email, how to interview for a job, come in board shorts and a tank top. Mm-hmm. How do you prepare them differently at Georgian Court?
It's interesting. I think part of that is because at the universities, we've gone from helicopter parents to helicopter universities in many ways. And so we do so much for the students. Oh, well, the students don't read their emails, so let's text them or let's find some other way. And I really kind of hold the line and say, if you're talking to an employer, they don't text. They're going to write emails. So You've got to pay attention to your email. I'm not checking my emails. You're trying to join a world that's already functioning. So you've got to adapt to their rules. And so try to crack the code for them and teach them those things. Right. And that's something that we really spend a lot of time with at Georgian Court. Not just my office, but the faculty try to teach them those things. So try to embed it in their curriculum. So it's really
great. Great.
Really
you said cracking the code, so that makes me think about Georgia Court as a whole in general, because I feel like for years, you said it's the best kept secret in Ocean County, which unfortunately is not what you'd like,
right?
Because you'd like it to not be a secret. Because Columbia wasn't a secret,
right?
So we would like Georgia Court not to be a secret. So sell me on this. How is Georgia Court positioned? If that makes sense.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. I think, remember, we were founded by the Sisters of Mercy. So part of the...
I don't remember, by the way. I'm only 42, for God's sake. Sorry, go ahead.
But we were founded by the Sisters of Mercy, and one of the virtues of the Sisters of Mercy is humility. Mm-hmm. So you do your job, you do it well. It doesn't matter if the world knows it. You just do your job, you do it well, and you'll be rewarded in that way. And I think now we're starting to realize in this sort of show-me world that you have to not say, look at us, we're so great, but say, these are the things we do, and this is what's important to us, and this is how we're helping the community. And I think we're getting better at getting that message out. You asked earlier about the kind of what's our identity, and I think that's something Georgian Court has struggled with a little bit. We are a mercy institution. That doesn't necessarily resonate with people who are not Catholic. They don't know exactly what does that mean.
Right.
And so our new president, Joe Marbach, is out there really talking about us as a Catholic university. But what I do like to make sure people know that means doesn't mean you have to be Catholic to go there. It just means that we live by our virtues, our Catholic faith there. So everybody's welcome. All faiths are welcome. It's not a come and now we're going to force you to believe in Jesus kind of place. But it's one of the nice things for me. What I love about it is every meeting starts with a prayer, just a kind of a gratitude prayer, a moment of silence, whatever it is. And I remember my first time there thinking, how wonderful it would have been on Wall Street if those lawyers had started every partner meeting with, let's just be grateful for what we have before launching into business. It's sort of a nice way to get grounded.
Interesting. Georgia Court University, a Catholic university in the middle of Lakewood, New Jersey. Ironical, no?
It is ironical.
All right, so let's talk more about. Let's talk more when we get back about Georgia Court University and kind of what the what the strengths are really, and why you should consider it, or why you should have your children or grandchildren consider it. Here with Kathleen Brady, Executive Director of Career Services, Corporate Engagement, and Continuing Education, Georgian Court University. Hang out after the break.
Coming up next, the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back to 634, Thursday, June 23rd, 70 degrees, get up to 74 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310, News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We're talking to Kathleen Brady, Georgian Court University, Executive Director of... I wasn't going to fit that in. Career Services, Corporate Engagement, and Continuing Education. So we were still talking about Georgian Court and kind of how Georgian Court has kind of changed. Why don't you continue there? What makes it kind of the compelling offering to you? What's the differentiator?
For me, it is their mission, and the mission is to provide an education for students who, for Georgian Court, might not have an opportunity to go to college. Either they don't have the financial resources, or perhaps they didn't have the strong foundation in their high school. So Georgian Court provides them with an opportunity to come to Georgian Court and to succeed. We've got a small, faculty to student ratio. It's like 12 students for every faculty member.
Cool.
I have never in my life met, and I've worked with some very impressive faculty. This is an incredibly impressive faculty. 90% of them have PhDs, but I think what is most impressive to me is this is a school that doesn't use teaching assistants. So all the pressure that's always on faculty members to have to do research and scholarship, they do that, but they teach. And that, I think, that's a differentiator. That's the important piece for these folks, is to really touch the lives of our students. We really kind of pride ourselves on being a high-touch kind of organization, whether it's the faculty or the administrative offices, trying to help students, again, crack the code and make it from one area of their life into another, and to be successful however they define success.
Right. And from a finances standpoint, I think the perception is that I think the ticket price on Georgian Court University, what the ticket price is what? I mean, when
it's about $34,000 a year.
Yeah. Right.
Nobody ever pays this ticket price.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I'm going to do the math in my head now. It's $136,000 for 4 years, which is still way better, by the way, than most universities. Right. But like you said, that's not really. I mean, if you're an Ocean County resident and et cetera, I mean, you're probably looking at. You could be looking at a 4-year degree in what ballpark typically? What they would actually be paying. Again, it's going to vary from person to person. Usually the out-of-pocket, if you will, and that's getting loans and those kind of things, is about $17,000 is what people end up. That's not horrible. And again, that's going to vary from person to person. We rely so heavily on scholarships, so we provide a lot of scholarships. I think the statistic I read was 90% of our first year students get scholarships. Yeah. So we really do our best to make sure that they've got the means to finish. Right. It's not like, hey, come here and you're on your own, pay for it. We really try to help them get it through. The message here is give Georgian Court University an opportunity. Take a tour. You'll be impressed because the campus is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Right? It really is. If you haven't been there, it's unbelievable because you drive through Lakewood and you're like, oh, Lakewood. And then you get to Georgian Court and it's like you hear like the angels singing and the birds chirping and it's like coming up on a Disney World. So
we do different things. 11% of our alumni live in Toms River.
Right.
So we try to provide not only for their kids coming to school, but also degree completion, somebody who maybe wants to come back. We also do the MIL program, which is the Macaulay Institute for Lifelong Learning. So we've got programs for seniors to come in and stay engaged that are taught, some by our faculty, some by local community members. So there's something for everybody. And we offer different kinds of programs, too. Like, for example, people who are over 60, there's a 50% tuition discount if you want to come back to college. So we do things for religious. There's certain discounted programs for them as well. So we really want to make education affordable for everybody in the community.
Very cool. All right, Kathleen, we've covered a lot of ground, but we have more ground to cover because it's time for you to get the Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin magic wand.
I've been looking forward to this.
The magic pixie dust, the fairy dust, the ability to just wiggle your nose and to make something happen. What are you doing with it?
I am making sure that every one of my graduates and alum have the job that brings them satisfaction and allows them to live a joyful life. Also, the flip side of that is to make sure that every employer in our area has the kind of workforce that they'd like. And I think as Georgian Court can be a great bridge to make sure that both of those things are achieved, with or without the fairy dust.
Very nice, very nice. That's good. All right, it's your time. You have like a minute and a half. Give us the website. Give us the where are you located. Give us the social media stuff. Go ahead.
We are located at 900 Lakewood Avenue, right in beautiful downtown Lakewood, New Jersey, right across from the biggest yeshiva, second biggest yeshiva in the country, I'm told. Our website is www.georgian.edu, and I would be remiss if I did not give you the sports. I think it's Go Lions, www.golions.com, so that you .edu, so that you can find out all the great sports events that are coming up. Come on, check out our new lacrosse team.
Very good women's soccer program at Georgian Court. Typically one of the top programs around, right here in our backyard. And if you are going to visit, we do recommend Fridays after sundown and Saturdays. Anyway, Kathleen Brady, Executive Director of Career Services, Corporate Engagement, and Continuing Education, thank you so much for spending some time with us and dropping some knowledge on us this morning.
Great. Thanks for having me.
You have a great day. And we'll be back with more Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin right after this.